Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 138 of Bird Squawk.
And the train keeps on rolling, people. The Birds improved to 8-0 last Thursday against the Houston Texans. Wasn't pretty. We'll get into it, but at the same time, I was never nervous, man. Never nervous. I have such a blind faith in this team that it's a weird confidence I have with them right now.
Well, I was a little nervous, but I'm going to tell you, we haven't talked since last week. The nervousness came from that whole double game thing that was going on, the World Series
Yep.
and the Eagles.
Yeah, sadly, the World Series, as you all know at this point, didn't go the way as we would have hoped, but the Birds did. Yeah, I know I hinted at it last week's video. We had a dual setup, double TV. I have a picture of it that I can insert now, so take a look at that. This was pretty fun. It was a lot going on, but take a look at it.
Well, as you can see, that's what we were doing. And anxiety for me was at the all-time high. I mean, anxiousness. That game, both those games. I mean, it was just crazy. One didn't go the way we wanted, but the other one did go the way we wanted. And like you said, we just keep this thing rolling. Bring on the Commanders this week.
Yeah, I mean, let's get into it. I mean, the offense, once again, looked good. I mean, this offense is what it is. We know what to expect from this offense each week. Miles with another good game. Jalen, I think, had a little nerves of playing, a little excitement of playing back home. Settled in, though, in the second half. Goddard with a big game. AJ with a touchdown. I mean, the O-line was okay. I think their run blocking was really good. Miles looked good. Pass blocking was a little suspect at times. But the big thing I think about this offense so far is I remember in a lot of games early in the first half, mostly because the second half hasn't been an issue. But whenever I feel like we look at each other and say, we need to put a drive together, they always go down the field and score a touchdown on that drive.
Very true. Very true. I mean, the one thing I noticed this year, and we said it before, is the difference is weapons.
Well, of course, it definitely is.
I mean, you look back at these games, you know, you've had the AJ game, you had the Devontae game, you had the Goddard game, you know, the Miles game. We can hit you with so many different things.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this team really, offense truly is, like, there's not really anything you can improve on. I mean, you can be a little more consistent maybe in the second half, but I think the last 2 weeks have shown that they have been. Crap, I can't think of who they played prior. It was the
Steelers.
Yes, the Steelers that came out in the second half, continued it, because that was the big question mark early in the beginning of the year, is they had great first halves, but the second halves were a little iffy. They weren't keeping things going. They looked good against the Steelers. They didn't even play most of the second half because they were looking so good. And then they came up big when they needed to against the Texans. I think the main worry right now is the run defense. And with Jordan Davis being out, I know it didn't seem like that big of a blow, but it kind of is reverting back to earlier in the year when he wasn't playing as much, that they are getting gashed a little bit. I mean, Texans have a good running game. I can't think of his name right now, but
we couldn't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, but it could be an issue down the line when Jordan Davis is out, with guys like Derrick Henry coming up, guys like Zeke, even though he's a little washed, but the Cowboys are going to run the football. Saquon in a couple of weeks too. That is definitely, I think, the biggest area of concern right now. I'm not overly concerned, but I think that's definitely the biggest worry right now, is that run defense. But at the end of the day, once again, they made plays when needs to happen. I mean, Bradbury with another interception. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with an interception in 4 straight games now. It's his 5th overall. Yeah, I mean, I think part of the defense struggling a little bit, I contribute to a short week. I mean, there was some missed tackles a little bit, but
that's the other thing we got to take into consideration. It was a short week. I mean, the other thing we got to take into consideration is I just feel like this offense is built for a shootout, though. I mean,
they are.
If we get into some kind of game where they're running and scoring, I mean, I like you said, I have total confidence in our offense can put something together.
Yeah, it's been
a
complete 180 of what last year was. They would come out on the field and I'd say, who knows what you're getting out of them. But every time they come out on the field, I I expect them to put points on the board. I know they're going to put a decent drive together. I mean, obviously, that's not in a perfect world that happens, but that doesn't happen all the time. But I have faith every time they run out on the field that they're going to put a drive together.
I mean, it's that front really on the defense because everybody else is playing great. I mean, linebackers, secondary. I mean, nobody wants to mess with our secondary. You know what I mean? Gardner Johnson's making plays. I mean, he's got 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
He had 5 all of last year, right?
I have no idea, but probably.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, you got Slay, you got Bradbury. Those guys come up huge. Nobody wants to go after Slay. They keep picking on Bradbury, but Bradbury's coming up big.
Yep.
I mean, I felt like the game got away from the Texans when they stopped running.
Yeah.
I mean, when they had Mills throwing, it's over. I mean, come on, that dude is not going to light anybody up.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and the thing is with the D-line, I think it's kind of been flip-flop to what the beginning of the year is. I think the pressure on the pass is finally coming. I think Hargrave is finally coming out. He's had a big 2 last games.
Yeah,
I think
that's
Hassan
true.
Reddick has got comfortable. He's looked a lot better. Robert Quinn just coming in. He's still got a high motor. BG Fletch still in there. So I think pass pressure is getting better. It's just slowing down those guys on the run. I do think that is going to be kind of every team's kind of game plan to start a game.
That's going to be the MO. I mean, if they got a running back, they're going to try to gash us with some runs, you know, and now you got Heineke coming in here with a little bit more of energy, you know. Funny thing, he was texting me Sunday, you know, Heineke's going to be a little scary next weekend, you know, next Monday night. And I was like, yeah, but he always kind of throws one to the other team. And just like that on command, he threw one to the Vikings and turned that whole game around.
Yeah, it's not that I fear them with him, but I think it definitely makes it a harder test. I mean, if Wentz comes in here, it's going to be a repeat of what it was in week 3.
I mean,
it wouldn't have been really anything, but Heineke has that kind of scramble-esque kind of, can get out of tough situations that these other Wentz doesn't have anymore in his career. So that's kind of where, once again, I'm not scared. I'm pretty confident they're still gonna whip up on them and go to 9-0. But I think I think it's gonna be close at times. I think it's gonna be a little closer than we think. But
I mean, the other thing we talked about is this team has the leadership in place to not get complacent. It doesn't seem like the old Eagles, you know? It seems different.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, I've been pumped. I'm really excited to kind of like get back to full Eagles. I think a lot of my kind of attention have been on the Phils recently and kind of been more stressed about them. But now that the Birds are like it again, I'm excited to get. But yeah, I mean, it feels surreal, where they are. It doesn't feel like they're 8-0.
You sit here and you think about where we were hoping they'd be, and we're sitting at 8-0.
Yeah,
8-0. Unbelievable. You know, the only thing better than 8-0, 9-0.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at the schedule, and I think there's going to be a tough stretch coming up.
There's a stinker in there somewhere.
I think there's some the narrative out there with people saying like the schedule, whatever. But
these guys, I feel like they're on a mission, man. They have committed to this, and they are on a mission and expect to win. That's the one thing I feel like when you're at the game or even when they're on, those dudes feel like they're winning.
Yeah,
they come onto the field. They're winning.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the strength of schedule kind of is coming up, and I think they're going to go on a really good stretch here of good games. I mean, this week you got the Commies, you got the Colts with who the hell they're doing out there.
Yeah,
so those two, I mean, we're 10-0. But then you got the Packers. Who knows what that? Oh no, you got the Titans,
and then the Packers.
I think the Titans are going to be like really
Packers and then the Titans.
I don't remember. Yeah. The Packers I'm not worried about. They're bringing out the black helmets for that game. They're winning that game. But I think the Titans is going to be
going to be a test.
Yeah, and as much as I don't,
it's at the link, right?
As much as I don't fear the Giants and think they're frauds, I think that's going to be a big test too. And then you got then we get closer and closer to that Christmas Eve game. There's a couple good games coming up. Yeah. I mean, so I think there's still a lot of a chance on this schedule for this team to prove to people that doubt who they are. We know who they are, but there's a lot of skeptics still out there, and I think there's plenty of games on this schedule still to kind of like prove it.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, you want to be battle tested.
Oh, without a doubt.
You don't want to just skate through this whole season. You want to have a couple games where you're battle tested. Got to come back. Got to put some drives together. Got to do something to pull it out. And I think those games are on this.
Without a doubt. I think there's a lot to prove still, even though I know they have, like we said with the leadership, they have the mindset that they haven't proved anything yet. Every day's a new week. They got to keep going. I mean, I love what Jalen said this week in his press conference when someone asked, like, what does it feel to be 8-0? He said, I was 8-0 in college and we didn't win anything. So we didn't win a national championship, so it doesn't really matter. So
we haven't done anything yet.
Exactly. So I know they have the mindset to keep this thing going, and I know we keep saying that each week, but it does feel different, man. It does feel different. They have a chance to go 9-0, and there's been 3 teams in Eagles history to win 9 games in a row, and it was the Super Bowl team, an NFL championship team, and an Andy Reid team that made it to the NFC championship game. So when you're winning 9 games in a row, you're in good company in this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, and it feels like it's early for what we're seeing, and they're just cresting, man.
Yeah.
And this could be a run we're going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it really is like a gear up for the win, like gear up for January, February, and we're going down the link for some playoff games this year.
Baby.
And
Woo.
It's exciting,
Home
of course.
Seed,
Exactly.
number 1 seed
Hopefully,
in the NFC.
And not to carry on too much this episode, but we were talking about it too. I mean, NFC-wise,
who scares you?
Maybe the Niners.
Who scares you?
Maybe the Cowboys a little bit, but that's the teams I look at, and then the Chiefs and the AFC. I mean, you got some heavy hitters with the Bills and the Chiefs, but they've shown some cracks in their armor too. I mean, in all honesty, there isn't really anyone I super fear.
I mean, the Bills just lost to the Jets.
Yeah, it's a division game, whatever. But they looked bad.
We lose to somebody like the Jets, it would be all over.
Right?
Oh,
well, I agree.
Right? Nothing with Buffalo.
No one wants to give the credit of the Vikings. That's a good win. They were their only loss.
We're not gonna get any cred. Yeah. Nobody's giving us any cred because they think we're frauds.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean.
And that just motivates us even more. We love that whole underdog. Nobody gives us respect. We all we got. We all we need. That's our mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I continue to believe that this team's going to win every time they step on the field. Truly. And it's crazy to think that. It's crazy to have this much confidence. I mean, I was confident in that 2017 team. But it feels like this confidence is even more. Yeah. It's crazy. I know it's early. I know we were just about halfway into the season. But this is 100% something special. And to enjoy this ride is... Keep it going, man. Keep it going.
Sit back and enjoy it.
Exactly. So, I mean, we'll be back next Wednesday. 9-0 as we continue this train going. So thank you guys always for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.